Welcome everybody to another episode of The Cookout. All right, in case you are unaware, The Cookout is a place where we come to have a secret strategy meeting. Okay, so Cookout is Ebonics for secret strategy meeting because I felt we needed a place where we could come and talk and everybody else can't listen. Because we have some things that we need to discuss between us, right? And this is a place where we can say how we really feel without feeling bad. Contrary to popular belief, I like white people. Let me say it again. I like white people. I do. But Muhammad Ali said it best. And you see Muhammad right here? That's Muhammad. And that's Angela Davis. Okay. But Muhammad Ali said it best. He said, if I open this door right now and a bunch of snakes come rushing in, I'm not going to say, wait, let me see. I bet you there's one or two good snakes in there. I'm going to shut the door because I don't know. So currently, I am at a space where I feel like us as a culture, we need to sweep our own front porch. We need to get our shit together before we can start reaching out and building with everyone else. I also happen to believe that every time we get momentum on something, on a movement, then other cultures join in and steal our momentum. So what I want to talk about today is what are our demands? What are our demands? We've got the marching down. We've got the protesting down. What happens next? We're living in an illusion, cousins. Come on in here. Come on in here. We are living in an illusion. We have won the war. We are just, like the Juneteenth holiday, the whole premise of Juneteenth, how the slaves had been set free, but there was a whole bunch of people who didn't know that they were free yet, and somebody had to come down there and tell them that they were free. I'm your girl. Let me tell you, we's free. We won the war and we are free. So now it is time to make our demands. What do we want? We got to come together as a people and we got to first decide. In order to decide what we want, we have to decide who we are. Because another misconception that you have is that you are black. We're not black because black is a color. They're not white because white is the color. When you see a white person, you're seeing a European, a Polish. When you see a black person, you are seeing African, you are seeing a Caribbean, you are seeing a Jamaican, you are seeing an Asian, you are seeing a Moor. Who knows about the Moors? If you know about the Moors, let's go, cousin. That's another episode because we're going to get into that. But in order for us to decide what we want, we must first decide who we are. Have you ever gotten a plant and it had like a little card in it and it told you like this particular plant needs this amount of sunlight, needs this much water. So in order for us to decide as a people what we want, we got to decide who we are so we know what's important. So we're coming to the cookout so we can bring all of our ideas to the table and we can hash it out. Give me my 10 first, though. Don't play this big 5 to the board. Spin up. Okay. Let's get it. But we need to come to the table and decide what we want because it's time to get moving. The Israelites made it to the promised land after all of that time in the wilderness, and they were just circling around it for years because they didn't know how to get in. And so, just like in the Bible, we've had leaders before and their time has passed. Now we need to raise up some Joshuas to take possession of our promised land. I find something interesting about TikTok. I keep saying on this channel that our culture is our monetization. Our identity is our monetization. They got us over here on TikTok saying post, so they can steal our culture. Every single person who has a TikTok page should have a brand deal. If you're doing lipstick, you should have a makeup deal. If you're wearing hats, you should have a hat deal. If you are painting, you should have a painting deal. If you're washing your car, you should have a rim deal. If you're babysitting your kids, you should have some kind of child clothing, some kind of child. Our culture is profitable and we are giving it away for free. So we need to close the door, get in here and make them pay you. Okay? But if you come over here to the cookout and we get together, we don't have to worry about it. And let's just get this out the way, cousin. Because I know one of y'all finna say it. So I'm gonna need you right there. Come here, cousin, right there. Come here. Put your hand here. When I say we need to decide what we want, it can't be money. You know why? Money is not real. You're real. Your energy, your soul is real, and that is what is creating the wealth. Money is just a piece of paper. So let me stop you right there. We cannot go to the table asking for reparations. We need land, we need access, we need opportunity. There are a whole bunch of things that we need. So we need to get in here and decide what it is so we can make our demands. Is it family first for you? Is it religion, spirituality, which I do want to have a conversation about? What do we actually want? Because we've already made it. We have millionaires, we have billionaires. The problem is we put it into the wrong hands because you have a bunch of black people putting on blackface working with white people for white dollars. So we have been sold out. We need to be more careful about the attention and about the support that we're giving to any athlete, any celebrity, any person who has a platform is your politicians. Donkey, red and blue, Democrat versus Republican, they're not your politicians. Those are not your representatives. Our representatives are the people that we're going to their concerts, we're going to their games, we're following their pages. We have elected them with our energy, and that is our vote. So from now on, we have to really, really make a conscious decision about those people that we're supporting. Sexy Red, Cardi B. Are these the people that you want speaking in those rooms? Those are the people that you want making those brand deals for you, because those are your elected officials. So we need to decide what we want, because our attention is our currency. So stop posting for free. All right, so I'm gonna read to you some of my notes about today's episode, okay? Here we go. What are our demands? Who are we and what do we want? Some of us lean into blackness because black culture is profitable. We link up with white companies and extort the black identity for white dollars. Some of us want a strong, wealthy nation of people. You know, we can be our own country. There are countries with less people than there are black African Americans in America. We just have to get the land, set up the people to be in charge, set up our government, our resource. Like, we can literally be our own country, just Americans in America. I mean, this is our country. We could take it because it's ours. Is this our promised land that we just need to take? Y'all, see, that's how my mind be working. Listen, cousin, I digress. We need to first come up with an agreement of who we are as a people. Are we black? No. And a color cannot get freedom. A color cannot get justice. A color cannot get wealth. So we are not black. Are we Moorish? That's a conversation I definitely want to have. But that's what we're going to discuss here at the Cookout. First is, who are we? Then our demands. So here in this space, we can share wisdom, share ideas, and work together. Money is the byproduct, right? Money is not real. Money is the byproduct. Once we do all of these other things, money is going to naturally come because it's in our DNA. The energy that produces. The Bible tells you in Deuteronomy, remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to get wealth. And in order to remember the Lord your God, you got to go within. You got to come back to the Cookout for that episode, because that's not what we're talking about today. But it is God that gives you the ability to get wealth, right? Attention is currency. So we got to be careful with what celebrities we're supporting, what platforms we're supporting. You need to make sure that anybody you are supporting musically, a podcaster, a book writer, anybody that you are supporting, you need to look at their life and you need to make sure that it lines up with them giving back to the community, with them speaking up for the community. When you have situations like Diddy going on, you don't need people who are silent. You need people who are going to stand up and open their mouth. You know why they're silent? Because they're connected to white people with white dollars, because they're serving you blackface, and the buck stops here. How do we monetize our identity? How do we turn our identity into a source of revenue? How do we turn our identity into a source of revenue? How do we make ourselves valuable? That's how you produce wealth, by making yourself valuable. So if we want to do this, we got to stop selling ourselves short. We got to stop selling ourselves cheap. We got to stop giving these platforms all of this free content, post. You know what creates value? Scarcity. So if they're not getting all of it for free, then they're going to have to come and knock on the Cookout door and ask us, can we have some of that culture? And then we're going to decide who's ready in what order to present what, so we know that they're not going to sell us out. We have to put value back on our culture. We have to stop allowing, you know what really chaps my ass when it comes to hip hop? Hip hop was started from the struggles of black people. They started making hip hop music because no one was listening to them, and they wanted to tell what was actually going on out there in the streets with those police and that violence. So hip hop was created from pain. Hip hop was created because they were frustrated with the killing, with the police and everything that was going on in the streets, and they decided to talk about what they were actually going through. So it is something that is born from our pain. They didn't want to accept it, but we made it acceptable. Not only was it acceptable, it became the most popular form of music. Fast forward to today, you have conversations when they start discussing who's the greatest MCs. Why is Eminem in the conversation? Why is Eminem even getting paid to be a rapper? Why did you let him in the Cookout? These are the types of things that I'm talking about. I don't have a problem with Eminem, but I do have a problem with us creating something out of nothing and then putting it in the hands of them who come in and infiltrate and take it. There should be never a conversation. I don't care if the boy can rap forward, backward, hanging upside down and say every metaphor. He is not the king of hip hop because he is not black, and hip hop was created from black struggle. And that's it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop letting white people infiltrate our culture and get rich. Stop buddying up with the people who are buddying up with the white people. Our identity is our culture, and you're giving it away. No other culture allows you to do that. Asians, if you start wearing that stuff on your head and singing Asian music, they're going to have a problem with it. When Kim Kardashian tried to name her brand after some kind of agent or something, they put a stop to it. They said you can't do that. Nobody called Kim racist. It's smart business. If we're going to operate as our own country, then we have to say, no, you can't do that, right? Okay. So we have to create value. And in order to create value, that means you can't let any Uncle Tom and any Aunt Thomasina into the culture in R&B music. So like, it's a whole thing, right? Scarcity. Stop giving it away for free. Make it more valuable. Stop supporting artists who are demeaning, making our women look like hoes, making our women look like sluts, making us look stupid. Stop that, because that is devaluing us. In order for us to continue to monetize our identity, we have to create value. So stop supporting things that make us look classless, tasteless, stupid, and valueless. The harder we make it for them to access our culture for cheap, the more they have to give us to have access to it. So if one or two of us will stop trying to make side deals with the devil because you want to be better than the rest of us, baby, you are us, and you ain't getting away from us. So if you're not making the deals with us and for us, then you ain't getting the deals, because we're not going to watch your show, we're not going to listen to your music, we're not going to follow you. So you might as well get with the program, because we're not doing that anymore. Focusing on the needs of others in our community is how we're going to do this. We have to establish our identity. We have to establish our demands. So let me ask you again, who are we and what do we want? It's time to present our demands. Until next time, cousins, I'll see you right here.